I think that, like in payments, the recent weeks and months have created many opportunities and changes. Maybe the main feature that we've seen in the markets in the last 2 months is volatility in an extent that we haven't seen for ages, ups and downs and much uncertainty. And one of the questions is, of course, from the 3 companies that we'll be hearing from, is to see how they can help to deal with the challenges, these challenges and others. So like in the first session, we'll start with 3 short presentations of our participants, and we will start with Ran Gazit of Self-Rating. Ran, please.
Good evening all, or should I say Bună seara, College di Romania. This is something, Shmuel, you don't know, but I have deep roots into Romania. I'm married to a Romanian girl. Been to Romania many, many times. And my daughter's half Romanian, holding a Romanian passport. So living in London because of the Romanian friends. And so I opened the phone, opened my camera, and with your permission, I will close it now, so we'll have a better wideband. When you asked me, Shmuel, to talk about investment, and one of the issues of investment is risk tolerance or risk appetite. And everybody, when you're discussing investment, anyone has to decide what is his appetite and what is his, especially in the general place, and definitely now in this present situation and volatility. So once risk appetite, how do you evaluate it? I mean, the different method. And our application that I'm leading, initiated self-rating, is basically will give you the ability to do it in a
Ran, you are muted. Ran, unmute yourself. Okay, now we can hear you.
Okay, so what I was explaining that when dealing with, I hope you heard that, dealing with the investment, one has to analyze what is risk appetite and how he defined it, and every time once he is even investing, what will be the method of continue investing is that the investor will keep in his risk, in the range of his risk appetite. The application that we developed and is on the market, and it's up to you, Shmuel, if to let the guys here give them the code to use it for free, is doing this in a very same methodology. And what happened? You put in some information from your financials, and once, as you can see now, and once you do it, you get a rating, and the rating is probability or default, or if you want another way of looking at it is your risk appetite, or where is this risk is open. I sent an email to Trudeau asking him about Romanian companies that are traded in the States, because you can input the data. You can into our system manually, or you can input from external sources, or from a CSV. So and Trudeau didn't know what I was aiming to, and so this is a new thing. So I did a little investigation, and I saw that British American, the British American tobacco is very active in Romania. So what you do here, British, I made a mistake. What we are doing here, so we can import data from public company, or the same way we can do it also with any other company. And somehow my internet works very slow. And once the data is in, you can immediately see you import the data. Let me bring another company. No, it doesn't work. Sorry, internet is slow, so we'll switch. And basically, it gives you a switch to here, and will give you a short movie that takes 2.5 minutes, and you will understand what this machine can do, and analyzing risk and in a minute of display. And so this is basically self-rating. So if YouTube will come up, I think, and you can import data manually, or as I said, automatically or semi-automatically, and there is a different machine learning or for different level of knowledge or background. So I see it's go work very slowly, so I believe I'll leave it here.
Okay, maybe we'll come back.
We'll go back, and maybe later on I will explain and show. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah. Okay. So that's self-rating, and we are very deeply.
Of course, we'll get back to you with questions. So we'll move now to the second company, and to iFactor. And Cosmin, nice to meet you, and the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. I guess thank you all for being here, and also as a board member of the Romanian Fintech Association, thank you for participating with the fintech initiatives in Israel. But actually, I saw that some of them are actually based in US or abroad than Israel. We also consider Romanian entrepreneurs, even if they have activities outside Romania, that they're Romanian startups. iFactor actually is it's an alternative SME lending marketplace platform that offers a fast, simple, and flexible working capital solution for SMEs. Basically, we offer a market for our in-house crafted financial product combined with marketplace capability for the liquidity trading. Basically, we are the first in the market to have a hybrid sourcing for liquidity, meaning that we are working with banks, non-banking financial institutions, or private companies or private individuals that can pool through our marketplace liquidity through SMEs in forms of different forms of debt. We have launched in 2019 in Romania. Basically, what we have done was kind of a beta public in which we incorporated number one bank in Romania, which is Banca Transilvania, a smaller bank in Romania, few private individuals, and a few non-banking financial institutions. And we've started to trade. The first product was factoring, so invoice trading, so that we can test the technology and everything goes around it. So basically, we are a technology company. So we are envisioning a world of innovation, digitalization, and use of cutting-edge technologies, where more legitimate SMEs can have options for their trade finance needs. So what we do, we involve technology and innovation in business and in the way we approach the technology, and we build it so that we can have a better service against SMEs. Probably most of you know that almost 95% of the SMEs worldwide are underfinanced. This is a statistic from World Economic Forum. Also, it's very well known that small businesses are very costly for processing for banks. So basically, the underwriting and the credit risk assessment, it's really difficult to be done. Therefore, in 2008, I'm a serial entrepreneur. In 2000, after the last crisis from 2008, which was lasting much longer than other countries, to Romania, out of some personal frustrations from the business, I started to think to an idea to help entrepreneurs and SMEs to get financed. And this is where everything started. I started everything with a banker. He was the chief risk officer of Royal Bank of Scotland and ING, Mr. Hans Broekhuizen. We started to work on this product, and what we have, it's actually a product which is incorporating KYC, AML, and credit risk scoring, so that all the tickets that are coming in the platform basically are analyzed and processed, and then further on they are passed to liquidity holders, to the lenders, in such a way that they have structured data and they can basically deal with these tickets in a better way. Mostly this is what iFactor is. If there are any other questions, I wouldn't keep longer, with the presentation. You can find mostly everything on our site, which is one second, I will share a screen about it. Luckily, we are living in Romania, where you have a very good bandwidth on the internet. Actually, the other days, Bucharest came out the #1 city capital in the world for the working from home. Actually, I have the article here about this new statistic. Yeah, this is the iFactor-online.com. It's our site, and of course we took advantage of COVID and we started to work on and we are deploying soon the second version of the platform, which will be much better in terms of customer experience, in terms of the products that we have. We will soon start the crowd lending product, meaning that the spread of risk and trading will be much better. And I cannot wait to have questions later, so that I can say how are we turning this crisis into an opportunity.
Thank you very much, Cosmin. Very interesting. We'll move now to the third company, to Tipigo. Yehuda, don't forget to unmute before you begin. And okay, the floor is yours.
Hello. Good evening. Do you see me? Do you hear me?
Both.
Okay. So my name is Yehuda Carmel, and I'm a serial entrepreneur, if I can say about myself. And for the last 30 years, I'm also an angel investor. And Tipigo is one of the companies that I established with a partner. And we are in the area of trading. We developed an engine that can find the best opportunity in the US market. We are buying the data from a research company, the biggest one, from 500 companies like Citibank, JP Morgan, and others. So we can deal with this data and can find the analysts that are moving they are the best in our platform. This enable us to give a recommendation to the trader or to investment house. We also invent an application that we did it for Benzinga. It's a big financial portal, and it is used by the traders. Part of them are using it as a free use, and some others use the premium application. In the last half a year, we also made we worked together with the investment house Alumot, and we built for them we built together with them, and we did a partnership, and we built a mutual fund, one in the sector of technology and one in the healthcare, and we succeed. So when 3 months ago Excellence bought this company, they asked us to build together an index for them so they can follow with the ETF on our index. And now we are, I think in a month we shall have the index. We did it also with a global Blue Star that present the American company. So we can build a serial index for them and to join with them the market. We also saw in the Corona time that people are looking how to invest and what to do with their money. So it was a good time for us to see that people are willing to find the data, to find a way they can find the instruction, or they will find a way to invest their money. So we can see that more and more users are looking for our application. So we are now going to make it better and to move on with this application and with Benzinga that we did it with them. That's a little bit about us.
Okay, thank you, Yehuda, and thank you, the three of you. And I think we can start out the discussion maybe with the last point of Yehuda, and maybe others will elaborate on it, which is how the current crisis is affecting your business, in what way you see it as a new opportunity, and in what way it's maybe stopping the development of your companies. So who would like to go first? Ron, maybe?
Sure. You see, self-rating presents a challenge to the banking industry in a sense, because as we are facilitating rating, this touches the core business of banking, and they're afraid that will the margin in the interest rate will reduce. But the crisis, a little bit before the crisis, but especially during the crisis, we saw, if bank didn't want to come close to us, suddenly they're willing to talk to us. We've been accepted to an accelerator of NatWest and RBS, which is Royal Bank of Scotland. And they start to understand this, so that's one thing that they understand, that this might change. there is more understanding that running business according to balance sheet and not cash flow is important, because the cash flow disappeared from the market, or the analysts only on cash flow is not good enough. So basically, the coronavirus, meaning, unfortunately to say it, it's a very good wind in our sails of a disruptive solution into the market. So I cannot say I'm enjoying it from the human side, but from the business side, definitely I am.
Thank you, Cosmin.
Well, as I mentioned, iFactor was actually built out of the last crisis, and it was a product that was built for entrepreneurs. And as we see it, of course, with all the government aids and all the support from the governments, most of the countries are going towards pushing those help to SMEs through banks or venture funds. And if we talk about those, most probably we will see some changes in the next weeks and in the next months. Especially because banks have limited power to actually understand the small businesses. Once again, small businesses are very dynamic. They usually wear unreliable scoring data. It would be very interesting for me to see how self-rating it's actually dealing with different countries and different credit metrics, especially because we were thinking to change the paradigm of the way the risk is approached towards SMEs from last few years. So based on a grant that we obtained from European Community, we started to build an artificial intelligence engine. It's called iFactor Pure Analytics. And what we do, actually, we analyze a big amount of data from social media, digital footprint, to social psychometry, and telecommunications. These are data that we analyze and we basically convert into credit worthiness. And by doing so, of course, we are scaling across markets. We can do it and we can analyze an entrepreneur and a company basically in real time without actually needing to have the credit history and the financials necessarily. Usually the small businesses and most around 90% of the small businesses around the world and micro companies and freelancers, they usually wear unreliable scoring data with traditional finance. So when you talk about corporate companies, yes, because they are public, they have a lot of financial data. So and usually also big SMEs, they have this data. But when you go to small businesses where entrepreneurs don't understand financial management and cash flows and budgets and everything, and they build actually their businesses based on their field experience, then the banks failed for many years to educate these people in such a way that will bring them to a level of being bankable. So of course, for us, it's a big opportunity. Also the economic crisis that will follow COVID medical crisis. It's a big opportunity because not only because we were built as a solution for crisis and growth in the SME field, but or for example in investing and trading. Of course, we're not talking about all investing and trading. We're talking about investing and trading in a new asset class, which is account receivables or basically SMEs loans. But when you're looking into the market, you see now that this the digitalization it's basically triggering the big pocket online battle between incumbents and challengers to win. Actually, financial institutions turn basically financial institution turns into technology companies rather than in-house to accelerate digital transformation. So basically, you will see fintech companies and big tech that will enable financial institutions, incumbents to do faster digital transformation. But then the fintech sector will be winners because, for example, consumer and SME lending platforms, they have best adapting mechanism to swiftly and efficiently deliver capital to key segments of the economies. But then you have other segments like mortgage and life insurance digitalization. They will have leaping forward with technology to disrupt the role of intermediaries than face-to-face, often role that was done before. So yeah, fintech enablers will also have to a win side here, especially the ones that are acting into artificial intelligence, IoT. Of course, there were some questions about KYC and blockchain here. We are also building a product, and Tudor already asked me about that. We are building a product which is called iFactor Advanced KYC. We do that, actually, we are in a very early stage with this product, but very important is that the product is built on a private DLT, so it's a private blockchain. And we have a vision of the architecture that will actually embed also the credit scoring directly into this product. And there will be some areas under pressure. I guess challenger banks will have, with high valuations, and they will have a lower expected activity post-crisis. If you're looking, for example, to Revolut or other models like this, they do money from traveling, from leisure, from exchanges, FX. This take time to recover to the levels as they were before March 2020. And then you have the wealth management, for example, because I guess client de-risking and lower homes will impact actually to the bottom line, and payments and FX, they will have decreased transaction activity affecting commissions on the business. So yeah, then you have the VCs, because basically right now I'm also a business angel and a member of Tech Angels Romania, like Yehuda, Carmel, and we are all the time in the last month, we have weekly meetings also with VCs and stuff. It's very interesting that although most of the venture capitalists are declaring that they are open for business, mostly everybody is looking to the portfolio companies and no longer so much into the new investments. So I guess this will be the biggest challenge to navigate for fintechs in the new financial crisis. I guess these are the challenges. I guess there will be opportunities, as I mentioned, but I guess there will be a lot of challenges, and we have to communicate a lot and to see how do we adapt to the new realities of the big economic crisis that will follow the medical crisis. And yeah, let's hope that we will be like Salim Ismail says in his Exponential Organizations book. He says that incumbents are moving 10 times slower than startups in the innovation and digital transformation. So we can have a head start here if we are built already native to go digital. In iFactor, for example, we have a part of the team in London, in Amsterdam. The technology development is in Cluj and Târgu Mureș, and the business development and marketing, we are in Bucharest. And we are natively built even before the crisis to work digitally and to work with these kind of tools. Banks didn't, so they don't know. I mean, they have a big time problem right now to have efficiency working from home, and we see a lot of problems that they are facing because of this lack of usage of the digital tools.
Okay, Cosmin, thank you. It was really interesting, and it also reminds me that before the crisis, we were planning, I think, on June 1st, a very big conference in Israel together with the government and other agencies on fintech and SMEs, how SMEs can get benefit from all kinds of development in the fintech area. And I think that once we come back to normal and maybe reinstate the initiative, maybe we'll ask you to come over to Israel and present your solution, which is so relevant. We had a question from Millie, which you answered part of it, but maybe you would like to add anything. Do you experience anti-global sentiment because of COVID-19? And I will expect this sentiment will influence your business. Ran or Yehuda, would you like to address this first?
We're self-writing. Ran is speaking. Self-writing is we're in Israeli, most of us. The company is an American, so to go around any global and with this feeling against Israel. No, we don't. Actually, we don't. We are servicing clients, banks in Africa. We are servicing. Not all of them are Israel lovers, but so I don't see the crisis at this point affects in this sense, at least from our experience.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Yehuda, Cosmin,
Shmuel, and
you are new.
I have some comments to Cosmin, but I don't know if we have time. So
we do have the time, but let's just finish this round.
Yes. Well, it's funny that somebody asked this question about anti-globalization. I guess before the 90s, most of the countries, and actually in the 70s and 80s, people were kind of rude to each other. Depending on race, probably depending on I don't know, fat people, but after that we started to fly a lot, and the low cost came out on and the internet was a boom, and we started to communicate with each other, and I guess the globalization was very, very good. Actually, the other day I was reading an article on Chris Krina's blog about actually the fear of coming back to old habits in which some of them, like for example, I don't know, President Donald Trump, who's blaming somebody or the political ways, people will start hating each other again, and this would be basically a very big drawback of the humanity after the progress that we had. So I guess one of the big questions indeed is what if this isolation and social isolation will pull people back to the behaviors of 80s or 70s, which actually will not be a good thing. And I hope not, but we never know. No. We'll leave and see.
Yehuda? Please unmute.
I'm sure, especially in our product and area, people are looking how to invest, how to keep them their money, but also how to earn more money for themselves. So in our area, I'm sure it will be good situation instead of a bad situation after the corona. We still see it now also. So I'm sure for us, it will not affect us badly. I can give you only one example that Excellence, the investment house, asked us to make them a report for the last 2 years. And we start to check for them on the 1st of January 18. And with our engine, we succeed to make 24% by the time that the S&P did minus 2%. So I think if people will know it, they will come quickly to use our engine.
Thank you. Okay, Ran, you wanted to address some questions to Cosmin after his presentation?
Yeah, Cosmin was asking what we are doing and how come we are taking a measurement that are used by big corporation, adopting them by the small corporation. One of the beauty, maybe touching also to globalization, the fact that our system is colorless and we don't know, and it's an automatic system, and most of it's an automatic system, not for the professional. And so we don't know the size, we don't know anything, and so we are, in this sense, the company can digest in a very, what I often said, we took a very old methodology and make it a very new one. So there is a way to take all the system and to make it adoptable for small companies. And this is actually our main, meaning our main market is to go to SMEs eventually, and to be part of their management tool without any background in finance. They will bring them to what you mentioned, a banking speakable or eligible to stay to bank. And I don't know if it's interesting to anybody, but I'm more than happy to do, now it's working, to do just a demo to show you how it's working, where we are ignoring the size of the company.
Thank you very much, Ran. Point is that actually I was checking during your presentation. I was trying to check actually the system, and I saw that it only works for Canada and US. And then, of course, this doesn't allow me to any test for an Eastern European company, for example. But then this took me with my mind into a place where, of course, it's very important for each market to understand the credit metrics and to understand the way the financial management is, and most probably.
Sorry, Cosmin. Exchange in the state and the stock exchange, the security exchange in Israel. We can do it tomorrow morning if we have the API to the Bucharest Stock Exchange. We'll do it the same. So we don't really care the language, or that's what we did interface with them. You can enter any kind of data. We're working, as I mentioned, we're working with banks in Africa. It's not typically oriented to those markets. The interface is in Hebrew and English, but it can be tomorrow very easily adopted in Romanian and other languages. It's done. Everything is
interesting.
Don't care about the language. Everything. The algorithm does not.
No, I understand, but I guess in order to understand the health of the company and if it's defaultable or not, or what is the risk, probably it's very important what are the credit metrics in there. Because, for example, in Eastern Europe, you have countries where you have very few companies that are listed, and therefore sometimes all the industries are biased. So usually, as you know, in the algorithms, if you're introducing garbage, then you probably will have a result of garbage, and that's why I was looking into it. But it would be great if we can actually connect and talk to each other. Probably we can collaborate actually in the near future, because your work is actually very interesting. And if you have any question for me, then
I'll send you all this. Yeah, and as I mentioned earlier, it's up to Shmulik. Meaning Shmulik, your organization have a code. So if you want to share with the guys, with everybody you remember, there is a code for a premium account, for free premium account.
You mean our
organization? So if it's your code, it's not mine to give. So if somebody, but you're leading it. I'm just a member.
Mine.
We can easily, meaning, but I can give you custom an account. Well, I see myself as a small soldier.